Hi, welcome everyone. We're going to give it just a second to let people get logged on. Welcome to Profit Lab Part 1. There is a Part 2 in a few weeks. I will put that in the chat. Please make sure that you put any questions that you have in the chat. They will be answered by the end of our presentation. We may stop periodically, but we will have a question and answer period at the end. And people are slowly trickling in. It looks like the numbers have stopped going up. So I'm going to introduce Lisa Card. She is a certified business analyst with the Maricopa Small Business Development Center and brings a wealth of experience to her position. And Lisa, I am going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. Well, welcome to your Profit Lab Part 1. This is a new series and tool that our center is using to share with our clients to educate on financial literacy. So I'm excited to be a part of that. Let's see. So I am a newly certified Profit Lab facilitator, and I will be presenting today, as Karen said. Really excited about it. First, I want to tell you about our network. So we are part of a national network of over 1,000 SBDCs in our country. Maricopa County Community College SBDC is a cooperative program between Maricopa County Community College and the U.S. Small Business Administration. The Arizona Small Business Development Network provides high quality, high impact, and one-on-one business counseling and has 10 SBDC service centers throughout the state, along with, I believe, 6 procurement technical assistance centers known as APEX throughout our state. We are a resource to start, grow, and transition your business. Some of the services that we offer, the primary ones are guidance through no-cost confidential business counseling, trainings, and resources. So we have resource tools to assist in developing comprehensive business plans with financial projections. We have industry market research reports we can share, strategic planning, and we also assist with new business compliance checklists and so much more, really. Our AZ SBDC state network has really filled our toolboxes with great resources to share with our clients. So today's agenda, first, housekeeping. Please use the chat box for questions and comments. Karen will be assisting us today with that. And turn up your volume if needed. We're going to cover a couple things. So goals, expectations, logistics, engagement, and learn a fresh new perspective on financials. Now I'm going to check the chat because, okay, I see the link and a good morning. Good morning. Just making sure I'm keeping up with that as well. So it's, you know, if you are not signed up with an SBDC center, and you know, we want to work with you. So working with goals for working together is going to be you know, signing up with an SBDC so that you can get connected with a counselor to answer questions and apply some of that learning to your business, creating a deep understanding and insights by practicing the online course content and tools, identify action items for your business, and provide accountability. We need to get things done, right? Let's go ahead and break some ice. So we're going to use the chat feature right now. I'll open that up, and I want you to type in your business industry. So if you're a restaurant or a retail shop, go ahead and put that in there, and then add a number. So if you've been in business 1 year or less, put a 1, 2 years or more, put a 2 or 3, not in business yet. Let's see what that looks like. 2, okay. We've got a furniture store, math tutor, 3, elementary tutoring, 2, audiovisual equipment rental, 3, okay. Cafe, 2, good. This is great. Well, we're excited that you're here today because this is really going to be a refresher course for some of you that have been in business for 2 or more years. Or you're going to learn for the first time some different topics and it's going to be really helpful. Well, thank you so much. Okay, we even have a food bank in here. Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. I hope everybody looked at that. I think it's great to know who's all in this group. And because in our part 2, we'll be taking away what we've learned together. Okay, so expectations for the 2 weeks, we have 2 sections. Week 1 and 2 are self-paced online trainings. And we're going to finish with the Profit Lab Part 2 online. It's a facilitator-led Profit Lab. And we know you have busy schedules, so we've designed this course to be taken at your own pace. Karen is going to email you the Profit Lab 1 homework, so you'll receive the link, and that'll share the 2 courses. It'll give you some instructions there. She's also going to attach a glossary and the action idea list that you can use during the courses. If you haven't registered for Profit Lab Part 2, that'll be held on Wednesday, April 24th. I highly suggest that. So the 2 courses you'll see here that we're going to go over a little bit today is the 201, Measure, Understand, and Get It Done. That's runs approximately 30 minutes. And then so 201 and 202, financial statements, where the story of your business is told. And that also runs approximately 30 minutes. So this is what your 2 courses will look like online. You will want to complete both courses before you attend the next Profit Lab Part 2. Logistics. So let's go ahead and take a look at a navigation tool to see if we're completing the course. So when you open the link for each course, you'll find your lesson, and on the left-hand side of that, you'll have a guide that'll help you navigate through each step of the course. You're going to check off, it's going to automatically check off each item that you've completed, which is really nice. You will also see resources, which we're going to send you today, and that'll be the glossary and the action ideas outline. And then see the workbook area down below. Please complete that for our discussion at the next Profit Lab number 2. It's only a couple questions per each workbook, but it'll be helpful and it'll help guide us through answering any questions you may have and can open up topics that some of you may have not considered. We want this to be as interactive as possible. So Profit Soup has put together a financial glossary to help you understand certain words that may not be common to you right now. This is an excellent tool to broaden your understanding or refresh your knowledge as the years go by. I took a look at it and I loved it. I was like, oh, wow. I think I forgot a few of those terminologies. So it's been very helpful. Use this action ideas worksheet that Karen's going to send to you to take notes on items that you want to do with your company as you learn from each course. And then bring that to your next Profit Lab. So 201, measure, understand, and get it done. So kind of let's just take a peek at each course. And the learning objectives for this 201 course are, there's going to be many things that you can measure, and sometimes less is more. So how do you know what to measure? Or what metrics will keep you focused on the drivers of success? There's some questions that need to be answered. Understanding a value wheel, which is sales drives productivity, productivity drives profit and cash, which drive financial strength and business value. Identifying resources that are most important to your company is going to be really important to pick up as you're watching these videos. And then determine how best to measure productivity in your company. You're also going to want to look at, how you should measure and monitor the drivers of sales, productivity, profit, and cash. And then two really important items are internal communication, sharing your financial metrics with your team to show them how to improve, and then external communications, describing your finances to lenders and stakeholders. So this is a process for continuous performance improvement. What do you do when it's done? You do it again. You're going to hear it's a process, not a project. So that's really going to be important for you to pick up as you're watching this. It's a process, not a project. Oh, the wheel wanted to spin. Okay. So we are going to review some value drivers, but before we do, I would like to play a clip from the Profit Soup so that you can see what that's going to look like. See here on the side, you have your lessons and it's going to check off what you're learning. Let's see.
Process for driving sales and for capturing. Nothing happens in business until someone makes a sale. That's where driving business value starts, with sales. Top performers have a process for driving sales and for capturing market share. They don't just wait for things to happen or take orders. They make things happen. Sales drives productivity. When I say productivity, what comes to mind? Words like efficiency, people, capacity, maybe even utilization. To me, productivity is about using your resources as efficiently as possible. What are your most important resources? What are the things you need to manage well to drive sales and profit in your company? For many businesses, the most important resource is your team. If you sell a product, your inventory is a critical resource. If you sell merchandise from a store, your location may be an important resource that draws customers in. For other businesses, it's a website that drives leads to a sales team.
Nope.
Trucks are important for a moving company. Equipment is an important resource for a rental company and for many construction companies. What are the most
It looks like
important resources for you? Managing them well is critical to your success, and we can measure how well you do this using productivity ratios. If you're highly productive and you efficiently produce and deliver sales, then your business will create profit and cash. Notice the arrows go opposite directions. That's because they are not the same thing. Is it possible to have profit but no cash? Many business people know from experience that this answer is yes. And it is also possible to have cash but no profit. Both profit and cash need to be managed. Even if you're highly productive, there are still plenty of opportunities to mess up your profit and cash. Profitability ratios measure how well you manage your profit, And there are cash ratios to measure how efficiently you manage your cash flow. If you manage your profit and cash well, you'll build financial strength, because with strong profits and good cash management, you can grow your assets while keeping debt under control. This builds equity and the value of the company. Financial strength is all about growing assets and managing debt to increase equity and the value of the company. This is a very important point. You leverage your financial strength by reinvesting the profit you earn back into the company, so you can grow the assets needed to grow more sales and profit. When you do this, the value of your business grows. This is fundamentally how we're going to approach managing by the numbers. We'll look at ways to measure and improve our results in these 4 areas: productivity, profit, cash, and financial strength. We'll get most of the information to do this from our financial statements. The income statement helps us to measure the profit side of the picture, and the balance sheet helps us to measure the cash side. Measuring these things on its own will not improve your business. We measure what's important, the metrics that effectively assess the drivers of success, but you can't stop there. Watching your numbers helps you understand what you're doing well and not so well, and then you can choose what to do and change to become even more successful. And then you must get it done. Don't just make plans, take action.
Okay, great. Sorry about the little delays in the videos. You won't experience that on your computers. It should be just fine. So let's go ahead and just look at some possible discussion questions that we can approach on part 2. So what are the most important resources at your company? And how do you measure sales, productivity, profit, and cash? Really important that you ask yourself that. And how could or does sharing these measurements motivate you and your team to improve results? So, what should you measure? That is the question. With all the information available to businesses today, it could be hard to know which reports deserve your focus. You don't have time to review everything. So, how do you choose the most important things to measure? What's your focus and drivers of success? So, the learning objectives for this course are: there are many things you can measure, sometimes less is more. So, what are you going to use to measure? That value wheel that we just saw, super important to take a look at that again when you're watching the series, to take that in. You want to identify the resources most important to your company and determine how to best measure the productivity in your company. So remember, the numbers always tell the story of your business financial health. And you should consider how sharing financial metrics could motivate you and your team. I want to say that again, because a lot of times, we're kind of scared to share those numbers. So let's in the chat talk about that. Go ahead and open up your chat. And what are the most compelling reasons to share your financial metrics or reports with your team? Why would you want to? And then the next question is going to be, why don't you want to? Like, what's the most compelling reasons not to share? And which numbers do you feel safe sharing? What scares you? Why don't you type in the box whatever you're thinking? Drive sales, So if you share numbers to help your sales team. Who's afraid of sharing numbers? Identify areas for improvement and collaborate to solve. Yes. I know in the past, I've been, I've owned 5 Arizona-based businesses over the last 28 years and, had partners, and I always felt comfortable with partners, but I didn't always feel comfortable with sharing with my team. I was a sales manager for a tank company, and I found that those sales numbers were really important for us to create goals, right? So sales, I'm seeing a lot of people talk about sales. What about inventory? What about sharing those numbers of inventory? Because, if we have too much of something that's not selling, that's an issue if you have somebody else that's ordering. Then, a lot of times for marketing, yep. So when you're seeing the words like which scares you, sometimes people don't want to share their gross revenue, right? They're like, no, I don't want my team to count my money. Wouldn't you say that's something that people think about? Let's see. Great to provide transparency into the business metrics, but have to be careful how much is shared and with who. Yes, you're absolutely right. I agree. Anyone else? Let's see, maybe there's a fear in sharing because they may wonder why they didn't get a raise. Yeah, right. Exactly. Yep. So those are all really great comments and questions. Let's keep moving forward. All right, so here is our next course, which is financial statements, where the story of your business is told. So if you've worked with an SBDC counselor, a lot of times they want to see your financial statements because that's where we see the full story. So the learning objectives for this course are a high-level understanding of the balance sheet and income statement, which is also called a profit and loss or P&L. Retained earnings is the link between the balance sheet and the income statement. Identify the 3 uses of profit, which includes business needs to produce enough profit to reinvest in assets, pay back debt, pay distributions to owners. And 2 kinds of financial communications, which are internal, how to share the story with your team, and external, how to share your story with a lender or your bank. Some content is going to show the income statement and how it measures the revenues, expenses, and profits for a month, quarter, or at the very most a year. But the balance sheet is forever, and you're going to learn more about that. And so this is really going to help you understand those 2 very important financial statements that you as a business owner or manager or accountant or lender, counselor should be able to read and understand. Okay, so what you're going to want to bring to the next meeting, you're going to have your course reflections workbook, which just has a couple questions for each one. And then you're going to also want to bring your action ideas list. So any thoughts and ideas that you want to, do for your business, why don't you go ahead and bring that to the next meeting so that we can start discussing, what that looks like. Now it's time for Q&A. So it was a shorter Profit Lab. It was just an overview of what you are going to be learning. And then I would like to answer any questions you may have right now. Please feel free to put them in the chat. Karen, if you want to join us so we can look at that together. Any questions? Comments? Okay, so I just want to share that if you're not registered with the SBDC as a client and you don't have a counselor, here is a link that you can request counseling. I highly recommend that. And then that link will also show you our event schedules of all our trainings. We have some upcoming trainings within our network. So we have our SBDC overview. Karen, can you quickly just share what that SBDC overview is for anyone who is not currently a client?
Yes, absolutely. So the SBDC overview is specifically meant for those who are not yet in business or who are just starting their business. Maybe they formed their LLC, but haven't really done any profits or anything. And we try to describe what it is that we can do for you and what it means to start your own business. So I feel it's a good overview of anybody who is thinking about starting their business. So that's it in a nutshell.
Thank you, Karen. And then there's another one that is a social media beginner's guide to social media growth, which is really popular. Obviously, people want to know how to do that. And then Profit Soup Part 2, please register for that so that we can discuss everything that we have previewed. And I just want to say thank you for joining us. And I am looking forward to learning more about our financials and taking this journey with you guys.
All right. Well, thank you, Lisa, and thank you everyone for attending. I will be sending out the information that Lisa discussed as soon as I exit this webinar, and we will see you in a couple weeks. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.